Recognition Night. I attended 44 of our athletic events this winter. I saw every sport and every level, and I was impressed with the athleticism of our students, the sportsmanship displayed, and the improvement in skills throughout the season. Our coaches play an important role in the development of our teams and young athletes they are coaching. So I'd like to take this opportunity to thank all of them for their hard work and dedication to our sports program. I'd also like to thank Lisa Menard for typing the certificates in the program, and a special thanks to all the custodial and maintenance staff for all their help this winter. In this session, we will recognize the students who participated in basketball and cheerleading. Success is measured in many ways, but with this group, championships were abundant. The girls' JV basketball team were CVAC champions. The girls' varsity basketball team were CVAC champions, CVAC overall champions, and Section 7 champions. Varsity cheerleading team won the CVAC championship and a regional championship as well. The boys' varsity basketball team not only ended up second in the CVAC, but filled our bleachers for the Saranac game, something I've only seen for donkey basketball and the circus in the last several years. Courtney Courier was the leading scorer in the CVAC, and Justin Moore and Mike Probotko were the top 10 scorers in the CVAC. Congratulations to all of our athletes on their accomplishments this season. No matter how big or how small, we're all proud of you. In addition to their athletic talents, 78 of these student athletes earned high honors in academics while participating this winter. On behalf of the coaching staff, I wish the best for our seniors who have played their last winter sport here at Northeastern. As is usually the case, I will call each team up front individually and introduce the players as the coach distributes an awards packet to each. Please hold your applause until we enter the introductions for each team. The coach will then comment on individual and team accomplishments. And I would ask that everyone be quiet while the coaches are talking, and ask that everyone remain in the auditorium for the full session to give proper respect to each athlete and coach. So we have the girls modified A basketball team come up front, please. Morgan Baker, Bailey Copeland, Mara Firelight, Katie Lanteri, Rachel Barkle, Courtney Bond, Megan Bowell, Chelsea Brooks, Carrie Dominic, Allison Eversole, Megan Richards, Manager Kelly Pavlidis. Please welcome the girls modified A basketball team and Coach Dumas.
Good evening. Everybody hear me okay? That's what these girls usually say. I'd like to welcome everybody here tonight. I didn't write a speech, so I shouldn't be up here too long. The two things about coaching is, the worst things, I believe, is at the beginning of the season, if you have to make cuts, and the end of the season when you got to get up here and do this. So just kind of bear with me. I'd like to congratulate this group of girls, 13 in one season. Did an excellent job, worked very hard at what they did, and they deserve a big round of applause for that. Looking at this program, it's pretty self-explanatory. We have a great puzzle going here, and it all starts with our youth, and then it goes to our modified, then it goes to our JV, and then it goes to our varsity. Everybody in that puzzle is very important, and they all share a piece of it. So this year, when budget time rolls around, after looking at all this program and all the awards and seeing champions so many times, let's make sure we give it a real good look when we go over our budget this year for sports. Because with over 200 athletes involved in this program, just in winter sports, you can see how critical it is to Northeastern Clinton students to be active in extracurricular activities. So please bear that in mind. Okay, that part of the speech is done. Now, to carry on with our athletes, from varsity on down, what a great year. I think we had 2 losses in our whole girls program. And like I told my girls many times this year, that before they graduate, they'll probably be able to count the number of losses, just maybe on one hand, possibly get into their second. And again, that all has to do with everybody doing their part in the program. Thanks go out to our varsity coaches, Mr. Landry, Mr. Bono, always keeping in touch with us. We know what's going on, and our relationship and communications are excellent. Our JV coach, Mr. Lambert, just a joy to work with, and again, he's league champ this year. And all those coaches and all the coaches in winter sports, they deserve a big round of applause, please. One person that can't go, you can't look by her, is our athletic director, Mrs. Gilroy. We've got over 200 athletes, students involved in this winter program. That's not easy to keep track of. And believe me, she does a real good job. This school district is, we should be proud to have such a person, a caring person, who puts in all the extra hours, not only just with athletic director, but also in our booster club. And a big thanks to Joseph. And our booster club, as these years go on, is going to be a lot more critical. They do an enormous amount of work now. The donations are unheard of. And the hard work that goes in it with the small numbers is just, it's unbelievable. What we've got to do is get more people involved in that booster club, and it'll even get stronger. What they do for this program, we'd be lost without them. And my thanks go out to that booster club because they do a lot. I coach 3 sports, and they help, and they're there to help whenever we need them. And a round of applause for anybody that has anything to do with that booster club. I'd like to thank my parents, they are very supportive. I'd like to thank Mr. Dominic for taking the score clock for me. That's a little trick by a coach when you know I have a parent that's going to be a little boisterous in the stands. Get them to keep the book and the clock. They can't say a word sitting at that table. So that's why he was such a joy to have right there. Just remember that down the road. Again, I'd like to thank all the custodial staff. They're always very helpful. Whenever we need something taken care of, they're right there to help us. Mr. Bernard does a fine job getting all his crew. Casey, Darby, Tiff, Courtney, don't be strangers. We've been through a lot. You've heard me bark. Well, maybe. I'm not real sure, but don't be strangers, please. Come back, come visit us, come support us, because I think this group, they're the ones that'll take care of South Jefferson. Okay. And I'd like to just congratulate that boys program. I think Mr. Garrett and his staff, they put basketball back on the map at Northeastern. And I'll tell you what, it's one of the most exciting basketballs I've ever seen was that Saranac game here. And a lot of that goes to Rob Garrett. He's going the extra mile. He's putting the hours in. And I'll tell you what, it's paying off. And a big round of applause for Rob. I can go on and on about all these winter sports. I was telling Calvin, you never see so many champions in one program. But another person that's turned around a program is that cheerleading coach. She's really taking care of business, and they're on the map all over the state now. And she deserves a round. I was trying to think of something nice to say about Tim McDonough, but I worked all day at it. I still can't come up with it. All right, for my awards. I have 2 awards. Very tough, very tough. All these girls are valuable to me. Most valuable, that's, I had to do it different this year. I put things in the category, I numbered it, I did everything I could. And the girl I chose, she came up with the best number because all around she did all the little things right. She's a good leader. Practice, it's amazing. When she gets barked at, she looks you right in the eyes. She accepts the criticism, not staring at her feet. She's a cheerleader, and I think she's come out of her shell a little bit. and I better pick up the right plaque. And I think we're going to see a lot of her down the road. My most valuable player, Chelsea Brooks. My most improved player, I'll be honest with you, she just barely made the cuts, but I'm glad I kept her. From day one, I would say if you're struggling with something and I give you that extra time, get on the court, whether it be a left-handed layup, reverse dribble, and I'd watch this girl every day before practice. She was working on her weaknesses. Her shot came along, she changed her shot, did all the things right, became a very intense defensive player. And another one, when you say something to her, she looks you right in the eyes. My most improved player, Katie Lynn Tierney. And the young lady that kept me in line most of the year, which most of my managers usually do, I have a hard time with her last name, so if Kelly, you come up here, I got a little something for you. Thank you, everybody.
We had a very well-earned season with one loss, which was against Suriname. The season trials started out well for us with no competition. We had gained girls and we lost girls, but we stayed together. Our very positive attitudes brought us to our almost undefeated season. We all had a very good season on and off the court, whether it led to be being serious or just moving or just having a good time. A couple of our very well-known memories would have to start with Mr. Dumas' great and talented singing voice, which kept us motivated during our really hard practices. One of our practices that I know the rest of the team will never forget is when Rachel was ready to do a layup, and Mr. Dumas tried to block her, and then the ball came down and hit him right on the top of the head. We also had problems during our games. Players were having issues, such as Morgan when she was on the court and the ref almost took her out during our Suriname Lake game. Our season ended with a great party which included gum, pizza, soda, and crazy girls trying not to play basketball. We all had a great basketball season. To our manager, Kelly Pavlidis, and Mr. Dumas, thank you for teaching us so much.
We've had a great season, 13-1. We've had some good times together through the season, especially when Mara fell and got right up and said, "I'm cool." But it wasn't all fun and games. We worked really hard to have such a great season. Mr. Dumas has taught us a lot throughout the year. I know he's improved our defense and ball handling. If it wasn't for such a great coach, I don't think we would have been such a good team today.
We have a girls' JV basketball team that comes.
Oh my gosh, I don't have
Megan Bayshard. Toriel Lafayette. Danielle Morris. Sarah Katie Hardigan. Amanda Rabin. Jen Bayshard. Kim Dragoon, Amanda Forey, Chantel Valley, Erin Macy, Margarita Acero, Mary Elizabeth Frankie, Katrina Guerin, Manager Jessica Van Leuven. Please welcome the girls' JV basketball team and coach Mr. Ray.
Sorry, Frank. It's October 20th. Soccer season is starting to wind down. Only about 3 weeks left before the basketball starts. It's time I start getting ready for the upcoming season. I take out my notes from the previous year. I look at the rosters from last year's JV and modified teams. I look at the list of players that attended our summer camp. I also have all the names of the girls who played on our summer league team. Well, little to my surprise, many of the same names appear on all the lists. And this doesn't count all the girls who played in the springtime in the 7th and 8th grade tournaments. Some of them played in the 3 and 3 tournaments, spring and summer. Some attended Plattsburgh State, and some Potsdam State basketball camps. And our old local AAU teams, we had quite a few kids involved in that. This dedication, not only by our players, but also the parents, who sacrifice very much of their time and their financial support, and is very appreciated by all of us. It does not go unnoticed. I guess that we start preparing for the upcoming season a lot earlier than October 20th. With all that preparation, how well will we do? I kept 13 girls. And as I thought about it, I think we could take almost any one of my girls, put her on any other team in the league, and she'd probably start. I had a hard time picking a starting five of my own. As a matter of fact, every girl on my team started at least 5 games. And just for a couple games in the 4th quarter, I substituted 5 girls all the time, all season long. I had that much confidence in every one of them. This year, I always tried to emphasize the word team. I didn't care who scored the baskets. We always need someone to play good defense. We need someone to get the rebounds. Someone's got to make that good pass in order for one of us to score. I think we did a pretty good job of that. I was very proud of all my girls. Everyone in the team contributed in some way. We played 3 preseason scrimmages, 4 non-league games, and 16 league games. We came out victorious in all of them but just 2. We ended up with the league champs with a 50-1 record. And I guess all that preparation really pays off, girls. Now, my MVP and my most improved player. It's almost impossible to pick it. So one night, I gave every one of the girls a little piece of paper. I told them to vote for whom they thought deserved each award. Well, what a shock. They gave me back the papers, I opened them up. I had 7 different MVPs and 8 different most improved players. Thanks, girls. Well, it's unfortunate because my most improved player isn't here. But I'm still going to tell you what I wrote about her. This girl here, when you first look at her, you probably would not expect her to be a basketball player. However, if you saw her in the basketball court, you would quickly change your mind. Her defense was her strength. She consistently pressured their opponent until they either gave it up or they lost it. She also played very good help defense. If one of the teammates were in trouble, she would always be there to help them out. Her offense was also very good. When she made one of her steals, which were many, they usually led to an easy layup or a nice pass to her teammate for an easy basket. She also started hitting 3-pointers at the end of the year. She was certainly a joy to coach, and I certainly look forward to having her next year, unless she moves up. For all your hard work, Kim, your teammates and I have chosen you as our most improved player. Champlain, my most valuable player. This girl this year had a few hard times. She went down with a few injuries. But every time she went down, she got back up. We had a non-league game up in Malone on the last Saturday of our season. She went down late in the game with an ankle injury. She spent the rest of the weekend resting it, icing it off and on, and just sitting around doing nothing. By Tuesday though, we had a big game going up with Serenat. She came back and played very, very well. She helped us clinch the league championship. I thought that was very impressive. She led our team by example. She played as hard in the practices as she did in all the games. I was very impressed with her enthusiasm and her positive attitude. For all you did for us this year, your teammates and I have chosen you as our MVP, Megan Bayshard. Well, I got a lot of the same people that Frank had in his list, so to all of you, I'll just repeat thanks to all of them, in case I missed somebody. First of all, it's my wife, Lisa. She supports us all year long. She not only supports me, but our entire basketball program. Andy, Norm, and Frank, they're great guys to work with. I want to thank each of you. Thanks to Josie Gilroy for keeping us up to date with everything we need to know and do. The Booster Club, they do a spectacular job. A big thank you to all the elementary coaches for the great job they do. Without them, we wouldn't be where we are today. I want to thank Calvin Castine for taping a lot of our games. Certainly appreciate it, Calvin. And a special thank you to all my players' parents. You are very supportive and dedicated to our program, and I'm certainly grateful to all you do. And this one here, my manager, Jessica Van Leuven. Everybody knows Jessica. She certainly did a wonderful job for me. She kept me on top of things just like the Frank manager does. And Jess, we have a little token of our appreciation. And last but certainly not least, a big thank you to my team. I'm losing 5 sophomores this year. I've coached some of these girls now for 3 or 4 years in a row. I moved up from modified to JV, and they came with me. I'm going to miss you girls tremendously. And to all you other girls, I certainly look forward to another great season next year. With the addition of some very talented modified players, I think next season will be just as successful and enjoyable as this year. Thank you. One more thank you here I got. 2 years ago, I had to say goodbye to my oldest daughter. Her sports career here at Northeastern was over. Well, tonight, I say goodbye to my younger daughter. Her sports career is now complete. Casey, after all these years of coaching you and watching you play, I have to say it's been a joy and a pleasure. I don't think we realize how quickly these years pass until we look back and realize they are truly over. Mom and I want to thank you, Casey, for giving us 10 wonderful years of sport time memories that we will cherish for years to come. We are very proud of all of your achievements. We got you a little something to remember all these years about, Casey. One more thing. What many of you out there don't realize is that Lisa and I actually have 4 daughters. Tiffany Lamberton and Courtney Courier are almost as close to us as our own daughters. These 2 ladies have been part of our extended family for many, many years. Holidays, vacations, camping trips, family celebrations, and just plain old Friday night pizzas. They are there as members of our family. We are very proud to have their families also, as well as them, as our friends. Lisa and I are going to miss you next year, almost as much as our own. Don't become strangers though, drop by any time. You know where the snacks are. You'll always be welcome. And I reached out to each of you a little something too.
Good evening. I'm going to try to make this short because we heard that John McDonald has a nice 3-page speech prepared for you. We just wanted to thank our parents for being supportive, our manager for helping us with whatever we needed, and of course, Coach for helping us to always strive to do our best. We'd like to say good luck to all the girls turning next year. We know you'll miss us.
Casey, would you come back down front, please?
Please.
Good job, David.
In each sport season, the CBAC All-Academic Award is presented to 2 senior athletes in recognition of their success in academics as well as their achievement in sports. For the winter of the 05-06 season, this award goes to Casey Lambert from the girls basketball team. Congratulations, Casey. The senior male received his award in the last session, and that was Nick Decos from our bowling team. Their picture and their accomplishments will go in the paper at some time in the future. I don't know why they were so late this year, but the fall ones were in last week, so maybe 4 months down the road. Thanks, Casey. And now would Courtney Poirier please come up front. Courtney led the Champlain Valley Athletic... Try that again. It's my team losing last night. Courtney led the Champlain Valley Athletic Conference in scoring this year, averaging 19.6 points per game. She's been the most valuable player in the CBAC for the last 3 years, and this year she became the all-time leading scorer in the CBAC. She wasn't born a basketball scoring champion. She had to put in the extra time necessary to improve and to become the best that she could be. The strength training, the extra foul shots, the dribbling practice, working one-on-one against Mr. Bono, the hook shots, the three-point shots, the extra foul shots, and those extra suicides. All of her hard work has paid off. She will attend Lemoyne next year, a Division II college with a near full ride. The reason she's standing here right now is because Courtney has become the 5th female at Northeastern Clinton to score 1,000 points. And in fact, she scored more points than any of the other 4. For this accomplishment, I have a plaque to present to her. Northeastern Clinton Central School is proud to recognize Courtney Poirier for reaching a scoring milestone of 1,000 points in varsity high school basketball on Saturday, November 27, 2004. Her total points, 1,909. Congratulations, Courtney. And we'll be putting one out in the out there. Could we have the girls' varsity basketball team down for a please? Courtney Poirier. Casey Lambert. Tiffany Lamberton. Darby Turner. Jordan Clark. Rachel Corrier. Alex Forey. Jaylene Rabideau. Kessa Pirro. Johnny Ray Corrier. Megan McCall. Courtney Brooks. Manager Emily O'Hara. Timer Marianne Doobie. Special recognition goes to 10 members of the girls basketball team who achieved the New York State Public High School Athletic Association Scholar Athlete Team Award. To receive this award, the student must be an eligible varsity competitor whose grade point average is used to determine the team's composite grade point average of 90% or better, and additional students that have a grade point average of 90% or better. The members of this team earning this award are, and please step forward, Courtney Corrier, Casey Lambert, Tiffany Lamberton, Darby Turner, Rachel Corrier, Alex Forey, Jaylene Rabideau, Courtney Brooks, Johnny Ray Corrier, and Megan McComb. Congratulations, ladies. Please welcome the girls varsity basketball team and coaches Andy Landry and Norm Lowe.
This has been a great winter. I'd like to congratulate the cheerleaders and their success, the hockey team. I saw a couple hockey games this year. Usually with basketball going all the time, I don't get to the rink, but they're pretty exciting to watch. I really enjoyed it. And especially the boys basketball team. They were fun to watch. I saw quite a few of their games. I was here. I got here early for that Saranac game, so I got to see. And I think we all enjoyed it. We're looking for, the same in the future. At the varsity level, our girls had a great deal of success of their own. Our closest competition in the league was 19 points. Besides the varsity level, Frank's team only lost one game. Dave's team won the league championship. We just keep building, we keep feeding us good ball players, making us look good at the upper level, and we really appreciate that. A strong basketball program at Northeastern is a tradition. That goes back before me and Mr. Bono got here. It goes back 20 years or so. In fact, we've won 12 CBAC championships in a row. So how does this team here distinguish themselves when you've got such lofty goals and achievements by past teams? Well, no other team in the history of Northeastern has ever gone 3 years in a row without losing the CBAC game. Our senior girls have. No other team in the league has had a great player who scored over 1,900 points, as Courtney has. And just importantly, and this is a tough thing to say because me and Mr. Bono have coached some great kids over the years and we've loved them all, but we have not enjoyed coaching any group of girls more than we have this group. Great bunch of kids to work with. This year's seniors, Courtney, Casey, Darby, and Tiff, gave us the kind of leadership necessary to be successful. They've demonstrated on the court what is expected from our younger players. They've also taught the other girls how to be a part of a team. The seniors decide on the dress code for away games. They plan meals together. They plan all sorts of activities together. They really did a wonderful job of keeping this team together. At 12 players this year, very difficult for me to get them all playing as much time as they deserve. But our seniors managed to keep the morale up. Very, very, very pleased, and we're going to really miss these girls. Now, we're going to be losing Casey and Tiff, and we're going to really miss them. They've been on the team 3 years. They've been wonderful. I've never had a problem with either of them. One of the girls that snuck up on us is, in one of our unbelievable success stories, is Darby Turner. Darby didn't make the team 3 years ago. She made it at the end of her sophomore year. We brought her up when she was having a great JV year. And last year as a junior, she saw limited playing time, but just kept on working. And this year as a senior, she not only became a starter, but she became one of our most reliable players. She scored big baskets in big games down the stretch. I don't recall ever having a player who came along as nicely and as big a surprise for us coaches as Darby has been. For this, I'd like to give Darby our most improved player. The other senior we're going to lose is Courtney Courier. I can stay up here for a while and list the accomplishments that she's made throughout her career, but I'm just going to mention a few. In fact, they've probably all been mentioned already tonight. Courtney has been the CBAC MVP for 3 years in a row. I don't know if that's ever happened before. She's become the all-time leading scorer in the CBAC, with 1,909 points. And she's earned a full ride to Le Moyne College, where she'll continue her basketball career. Courtney, our obvious MVP. You look at those 4 seniors, and I should be depressed up here. I'm losing some really talented and wonderful young ladies. But the fact is, I'm excited. I'm excited about next year already. We have 2 of the best players in the league back. We have Rachel Gourier and Alex Corey, both CBAC All-Stars. And along with those girls, we have some other girls who, while they didn't always get as many minutes this year to prove themselves, made tremendous, tremendous improvement. I have Jaylane Rabdu and Jordan Clark. Did a wonderful job for us. And then we had 4 underclassmen. We had Kessa Perro, who really started playing really big for us at the end of the season. We had Megan McComb, Johnny Ray Courier, and Courtney Brooks. They all did very well this year. Hopefully with more playing time next year, they're all going to really blossom. Our season came to a close with a disappointing loss to South Jefferson, but there was really no shame. While we could have won the game, South Jeff came into the game undefeated for the 3rd straight year and went on to win their 2nd state championship. We proved once again that we are one of the top 2 or 3 schools in Class B in the state of New York. Finally, I'd like to thank Ms. Gilroy for her support throughout the year, Coach Dumas and Lambert for their support all year long. They do a great job for us. I'd like to thank all the elementary coaches who every year just keep that program rolling and sending us good ball players. And a very special thanks to Coach Bono. His contribution to the team can't be measured. Bono, would you like to say a few words?
The girls know what times 2 means. during every practice, after we've warmed up, done some jumping ropes and a couple other drills, and the girls go get a little drink of water and they all sit down and we have a little talk. Andy always goes first. We never tell or get together as to what we're going to say, but he usually says all the things that need to be said. So by that, when he's all done, he says, okay, Mr. Bono, you got anything to add? So by that time, everything is said. So I just say times two. I usually dig up a few other things. Just looking over, oh, by the way, it's kind of nice not to be last for a change here. Usually I'm always the last one on the second shift after everybody has been through. And they say, Mr. Bono, would you like to say any words? And everybody wants to go home. Nobody wants to hear anything. Well, at least now I've got a little longer span. Like Andy mentioned already, it's the history, our history. It goes, like he said, down to Don Sears. But 12 years that we've been kind of keeping track of things. We have won 12 league titles, 9 sectional titles. We finished undefeated 5 times out of 12 years. Not lost a league game. Never lost more than 2 league games in a season in those 12 years. We've lost a total of 11 league games in 12 years. We now have not lost a league home game since January 3rd, 1997. 78 games in a row. So it's been a great tradition. I mean, it just goes from one group of girls to another group of girls. You can have sometimes 3 or 4 girls come into a program and do really well for a few years, but once they leave, then you're back down struggling with everybody else. But we just had one group after another after another. So this is the tradition that's brought us this point. Now for this group of girls, the last 3 years, been 22-2, 24-1, 22-4. So for the last 3 years, most of these girls have won 68 games and lost 7. The 7 that we've lost 3 of them alone. 1 in overtime, 1 by 1 point. Lost 1 to Messina in overtime. And we've lost 3 to South Jefferson. So we've had an unbelievable run. Last 3 years, like Mr. Angry's already said, we're 50-0 in the league, 60-0 overall with the sectional in our league. And if you exclude the Class A teams and South Jefferson, we'd be 68-0 in the last 3 years. Now, so this group of girls, especially we'll kind of divide them up to the older 7 and the young 5. So the older 7 has brought us to this tradition now, and the young 5 have to keep it going. Now in this group of the older 7 who's been together for a little while now, I've worked with Courtney for 5 years. And in those 5 years, especially at the beginning, anybody could see that she was a talented girl, that she had a lot of potential. But potential has never won games or done a whole lot. You've got to earn what you have. And she's worked extremely hard, day after day. She's never said, no, it's time to quit, or I don't want to do this, or she's never questioned a thing. And we have talked about a lot of different things through the years. I remember one of the things that I did tell her when she was in the 8th grade, as a freshman. I said, you're going to be good. I said, don't talk about yourself. If you're good, people will talk about you. And if you listen to the things tonight, a lot of people are talking about her. So it's worked out quite well. Tiff and Casey, what they can remember back is that they have never lost a league game. You can say when I was in high school, our league record was 50-0. I don't think that anyone's ever done that. And like Mr. Landry said, Darby has been unbelievable. How hard she has worked. She might not be the most gifted or coordinated girl in the world. She's going to be one of the hardest workers. She's been fun to work with. We're really going to miss her. Rachel and Alex, now they're also 50-0 though. They came up together. All those girls came up the same year, so they've got a chance to continue in that 50-0. So they're still counting. Now Rachel is an unbelievable talent in herself. And I know she tells me every day, she writes it on my board. She says, Rachel is awesome. And Alex is a perfect practice player. She always wants to practice, always wants to work. We always practice at 8 o'clock in the morning. A lot of the girls and a lot of kids today don't like to be up that early, and most of them come from quite far away. All through Christmas breaks, Saturday mornings, 8 o'clock. So we start the season. Things are going kind of tough. Courtney's injured, can't play. So we get to a Thanksgiving break, and Alex, the night before, the day before, when we're having our little talk, says, can we practice on Thanksgiving? She said, I don't think we're ready. I'd like to practice on Thanksgiving. Rachel says, over Christmas break, I'd like to have a little longer days. Could we practice one day at 7 o'clock in the morning? I couldn't believe that either. But we did. We practiced at 7 o'clock over the Christmas break one morning. Jaylene, she's probably the only player in this league who's ever won her first 24 games that she's ever played in. And she's come a very long ways. And will give you everything she has every day. As we've seen it many times in practice, when she'd have an asthma attack, and we'd have to keep an eye on her all the time because she won't stop or say anything. She won't tell us until it's really hurting. Now, most of you, or all those of you who were at the last game against South Jefferson, at the end of the game, you could see how sad our girls were. You saw the picture in the paper. I don't think a lot of people really realize why they were so sad, and I haven't asked them, but I know. It wasn't so much that we had lost to South J. They weren't ashamed of that. It was the end of the season, the end of a certain team that had been together and been very close for a very, very long time. Like Andy says, they do everything together. Andy and I have been with a good ride with these girls. We're real lucky. Sometimes you say, you know, they feel like your girls. It's actually better than that. It's like we're the grandfathers. So we're spoiled, and when we're done, they can go home, and we can go on our way. So we have the best of both worlds. Again, I'd like to congratulate all these girls. Hope for the best in their future, and for the ones coming back. I know you'll work real hard this summer, and keep on the tradition. Thank you very, very much.
Okay, I've never done this before. Okay. First and foremost, we would like to congratulate all the other teams and coaches on successful seasons, especially the boys varsity team and Coach Garen. You guys had an amazing season, and it was a lot of fun watching your games and cheering you on. We would especially like to thank our parents for always being there and supporting us no matter how far away the games were. We appreciate everything that you've done for us and for always being our #1 fans both on and off the court. We would also like to thank Carol Bayshard for all her help with senior night. You really helped in making it a memorable experience for all of us. We would like to also thank Calvin Castline for taping our games. We really appreciate it, and we have a little something for you. We would also like to thank Mrs. Bushy for helping out at our games, and Mrs. Landry for all the food that you made for us. It was absolutely delicious and very much appreciated. We would also like to thank Mrs. Cromp for joining our little family this year and helping out at both practices and games. Also thanks to Emily for being an awesome manager. It was great having you with us this year, and we have a little something for you as well. Mr. Dumas and Mr. Lambert, thank you for always being there and helping us out whenever you could. Whether it be coaching us, encouraging us, or just plain making us laugh, we really enjoyed having you a part of the team. To Mr. Bono and Mr. Landry, words cannot express how grateful we are to have such amazing coaches. Huh.
he left off. Okay. Without both of your hard work and dedication, we wouldn't be as nearly successful as we are. From getting us food, to helping us with our game, to getting us food, to helping us with our homework, to getting us food, everything you've done for us hasn't gone unnoticed or unappreciated. On behalf of the team, we would like you to know how thankful we are for all that you've done for both of us, or for us both, on and off the court. Last but certainly not least, we would like to thank the team and let you know how much you all mean to us. You've given us memories, some good, some bad, and some we really can't say out loud. But we'll always look back on them with a smile. Thank you girls so much for making our senior year memorable, and we'll be sure to come back and visit you next year. So until then, keep working hard and keep our traditions going. Thank you.
Before I introduce this team, I want to mention that several years ago, due to low numbers and financial reasons, the decision was made to drop the JV cheerleading program. The numbers were up this year, but still no finances. So with the board's permission, Stephanie Gaudette volunteered her services as a coach, and I'd like to extend a special thank you to her for that. Stephanie Boudreau, Chantel Ebersol, Erica LaFave, Melinda Benchard, Caitlin Molden, Brittany Raymond, Shaylin Austin, Heather Doobie, Kristen Langer, Kelsey Mitchell, Tori Raviter. Please welcome our JV cheerleading team and coach.
Okay, I'm going to keep this nice and short because I really don't want public speaking. I'd just like to make a few thank yous, especially to Josie and the school board for allowing me to have a junior varsity team. This will greatly increase our program and help us maintain a championship team that we've had for the past 3 years. So hopefully they'll continue. To all the parents and everyone who helped throughout the season for our games and practices, to the varsity kids who came, and thank you so much for your input and helping me during my practices. I'd like to great thank you to Sarah for giving me the opportunity to help you and to realize how much work it is to be a coach. Things are a lot different on this side of it. I'd like to thank my team. Thank you so much for this year. It's my first year as an actual coach, not just an assistant coach. And you worked with me as I was finding out how to run things and how I wanted things done. You're a great bunch of girls, and I hope to see you all next year. I chose not to do Most Valuable Player this year. I feel that all my girls helped, and they were valuable to this brand new team. Most Improved, I picked someone who, at the beginning of the season, I wasn't even sure was going to be on my squad. She started off pretty shy and never wanted to be in the front for anything. She never really smiled or talked, for that matter. But by the end of the season, she was laughing and making jokes and didn't mind so much to have some attention. I could correct her wrist, and I could always tell that she was trying her hardest to keep it straight. I'm going to give my Most Improved to Erica LaFave, who unfortunately can't be here tonight. So, great job for her.
first want to start out saying that thanks to the varsity cheerleaders and their coach for helping us and just giving us their input like our coach said. And then our team. Wow, we had some great times, and there's practices that, wow, I'd never forget. Like our one practice. Our coach told us that we sounded like girls too much and we had to deepen our voices, so we all started sounding like men. Well, that lasted for 2.2 seconds, and we were all bent over laughing. And our tumbling with our back handsprings, with us almost taking out Conley a couple times. Thanks, Conley. And pretty much just anyone who supported us. And
this year has been great, especially since there wasn't JV before. And we had a lot of great times, and Seth is such a good coach. I just remember the time where Heather and Brittany were putting me up in the air, and Heather dropped my foot, and I grabbed Brittany with me, and I made her ear bleed. And, well, those are just the good times that I hope we have a JV next year. Thank you, everyone.
Be happy you're taller than me. Oh, no. Let's say, be happy you're taller than me.
Okay,
Liz Allison. Nicole Ankle. Courtney DeMars. Ryan Hampton. Conley Hilliker. Jessica Hokenberg. Joshua Sheets. Victoria Palmer. Nora Paola. Bailey Trahan. Jimmy Trom. Becca Allison. Brittany Baker. Carrie Hunter. Melanie Barrier. Nicole Harvey. Shayla Fex. Kylie LaFontaine. Megan Lapierre. Michelle Lawrence. Paige Menard. Please welcome the varsity cheerleading team and Coach Sarah Huntley.
Okay, Rob told me not to cry, and we know that never goes over well. We got a team of 21, and the way cheerleading works, for everybody that doesn't know by now, is it takes every one of them all the time to be close, to make it work, to keep everyone safe, and to make a routine successful. So they become part of my family. I get phone calls to hear about what's going on each day, things like that. So it's a little personal when I realize that I'm losing a bunch of seniors. Some that have been with me for many years. Some that have spent time with my own kids at my own house numerous times. In fact, even gone on vacation with me. So it's a little personal, and I apologize if I cry and I get emotional. I don't mean to. First of all, I have to thank my husband before I thank anybody else for a rough season, but for sticking through it. Now I need to thank Mr. Hebert and the school board, and especially Mrs. Gilroy, for all their support this season, all their help, from providing us the Champlain Elementary gym for our practices, to allowing us to compete for the first time ever in a regional competition in Albany. I can't thank them enough for all their efforts, everything that Josie has done for us. I repeat what every other coach has already said. She deserves a huge round of applause for everything she's done for this program. I would like to thank Rob Guerin and the boys basketball team for an amazing season, for games that were exciting and a thrill to cheer for. It was nice to look forward to going to a basketball game again, even when we had no place to sit. I would also like to thank my parents. I know it's not always easy taxiing your kids back and forth to practices, last-minute changes in schedules, and for just understanding when things weren't always easy for me as a coach. But I know that those parents that saw them perform at CVAC and followed us to Albany and saw the amazing performance they did in Albany, that it's all worth it, no matter what. There's nothing better than seeing the joy in their faces when they hand you that first place trophy. Finally, I'd like to thank my team and, of course, my JV coach and assistant staff. A simple thank you doesn't seem enough for everything that you guys have done this season, since it was such a crazy season for me and this team. I have 11 new first-time cheerleaders this year out of the 21, and they stuck to it. You somehow managed to give me third time in a row CVAC championship, and for the first time ever, first place championship at regionals in Albany. I can't say how proud I am of every one of you. With that said, my most improved award was probably one of the most difficult I've ever had to do since I've started coaching. As I said before, with 11 out of 21 new first-time cheerleaders, everybody had their share in improving. But there was one person that gave more and more each week. Even though everybody gave 100% all the time, this person seemed to come in, no matter how hard I pushed her, she came back in working harder every day. I don't think she was really sure of what she was supposed to be doing when she started the season, but by the end of the season, she just kind of looked at me and smiled. By the end of that season, I had almost forgotten that she was a first-time cheerleader, and I look forward to seeing her again next year. My most valuable player this year, or my most improved, excuse me, was Brittany Baker. My most improved was even harder, or my most valuable was even harder than my most improved. I have numerous cheerleaders that have cheered for many years that bring so much to this program, from creating their dances and their cheers, to putting the routine together. Any one of them could be. Any one of my 4 captains could easily be my most valuable player. So when I sat down to decide, very late in the season, I apologize, I looked back and I realized that there was one person that most of the time intimidated most of the team and argued and angered some, but always managed to get results. She was here for a while and left and came back and brought quality back in my team, adding just a little bit more. Some days she'd come in and you knew it wasn't what she wanted to do, but she always had the ability to make it look like there was nothing else she'd rather be doing than that day. My most valuable player goes to the trucker.
Okay, I have a little story to tell you guys. 5 years ago, 3 small 8th graders and an even smaller 7th grader walked onto a varsity squad not knowing what to expect. We were bad, to tell you the truth. If someone would have told us that in 5 years we would be setting the competitive standard for the region, none of us would have believed them. Now, hundreds of practice hours later, an ever-evolving team roster, the conquering of a dynasty, and the start of a new one, the 4 of us can say that we are the only remaining Northeastern varsity cheerleaders that have ever not won the first place trophy at any competition we have ever been to. So, to the 17 of you, we would like to say congratulations on continuing the new tradition of Northeastern superiority and excellence. Courtney, Ryan, and I will never be able to tell you what it means to us that we can end our Northeastern career not only on a high note, but a perfect season. And I mean perfect. If anyone saw our regional routine, I know I showed Courtney and I think Casey and Darby, you saw it. It was perfect. I'm not gonna lie. And to Bailey, the last remaining member of our original team, we love that you will be the one that will remind everyone that our status of the best was not given to us, but hard-earned.
So, to the woman who carried us to the top, we will never be able to express our eternal gratitude. This is a woman who will push you to your breaking point, and yet you want nothing more than her approval. She was not only our coach and friend, kind of like my mother as well, but our own personal cheerleader that would never give up on us, even when some of us wanted to give up on ourselves. So, Mrs. Sarah Hunter, we thank you for everything that you have done for us throughout our many years. Coach, take a look at your team. Your first place CVAC and first place regional team. Would you have thought this would have happened when we started as our lovely middle schoolers? A few more thanks to Steph, the best assistant coach we've ever had. Well, the only one too. To Chuck for all your sacrifices for cheerleading, even though we all know you love it so much. All your exercising with the radio. To our cheer moms and dads, for your support has been relentless and absolutely crucial to our success. To Mr. Guerin and the varsity team, thanks for an awesome season and giving us something to cheer about. And I know you guys liked me when we ran through and I got you guys pumped up for the games. To the girls varsity basketball team, our favorite fans, the excitement on your faces when you watch us the excitement on your faces when you watch us make us want to perform even better next time. And again, thank you to our coach for all of her love and support.
For you, from all of us.
No, it's not a poster, thank you. Did y'all see that poster last year? No, they didn't. This big. Team picture. Team picture. It's very scary looking at you.
I go.
We have the modified age boys basketball team.
One thing I've never seen.
I'll make mommy's favorite speech. All set. Do you like my